Okay, so first thing I want to remind everybody before we start getting into any conversation about TOR, and we do this every single week, is no NDA breaking.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that we might start making a badge for those who report the most NDA breakers during the week.
It seems to be a recurring theme.
Yeah, and actually something we're going to talk about in a little bit has to do with leaks and stuff, and what happens. The community just goes absolutely crazy. But I'm Mike Norton. I am the GM of Redeemed, a Republic RP guild that'll be playing on the West Coast. I'm also just a general tech fanboy and all-around Google guy. So I love talking about TOR and getting people involved, and so that's why I'm here. So let's start from the very top. For those that have a mic, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Is that me?
I think it would be Corey. Corey, do you have a mic?
Corey?
He's typing.
Not yet, but that's Corey up at the very top box. And you can type a little bit about who you are, where you're from if you want, and then we'll let Dave introduce himself. He's typing furiously. Nebraska Primer. Cool. Glad to have you here. All right, Dave, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Dave Traney, talesfromtor.com, although we haven't really been updating the site since the release. But that's it, and I think this is my third one. Third Hangout?
I think so.
Awesome.
All right, come on down the list.
My name's Eric. I'm from Canada. I am nothingfromnowhere.com as far as TOR goes. I have my blog, but it's not related to this is my first Hangout, and I like video games.
Great. Welcome. Come on down the list.
Okay, I'm Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
Or JJ on the Google Plus. Yeah. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Type that actually reads the comic books and the books and the EU and all that stuff. I've actually even bought the TOR comic books. Yeah, I was looking forward to playing. I play a lot of MMOs and stuff.
Awesome. Welcome.
Oh, I'm from Vancouver. I don't know if I said that.
Oh, okay.
Canada.
More Canadians. Hey. Sorry, I had to.
Halifax. Got both coasts.
All right, Johnny.
Hi, everyone. I'm Johnny. I'm the GM of Sith Vengeance. You guys can hear me?
We can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, great. So we're 6 strong, and this is, I think, our third or fourth hangout. Having a great time. Looking forward to continuing to build the community, and welcome, everyone.
Yeah, I saw the 6. Congrats, man.
Yeah. Slow but steady.
Okay. And we have the black box.
That's ominous.
She's typing. Type. Why don't you go ahead and, Lewis, you can talk while she's typing.
Or you can read what she's typing in a funny voice.
Yeah.
I have a funny voice. Lewis.
You could have Lewis spin your camera around. She's hiding. She's Apple. All right, Lewis, why don't you introduce yourself, my friend?
I'm Lewis. I'm also proof that somehow TOR fans, male TOR fans, grow beards.
Hey now.
Aw, that's... Oh.
At least Republic side, they grow beards.
50%.
Silly Republic scum.
All right. Why don't you go, Miss dissing the Republics?
I'm Melissa Martinez. I'm on Google Plus as Melissa or Malice. I don't know how it shows up. I'm in 2 SWTOR guilds. I'm in Genesis and Mos Eisley Radio. I've been a fan since I was really, really little when I first saw the movies on Laserdisc. and I prefer those
Wow.
versions.
Wait. You mean Pioneer Laserdisc? The big ones?
Yeah,
I-
this
my,
big.
My dad
So
had that
you're
too.
not that young. Wait, that sounded bad. I did not mean that.
I was in the theater.
Let's rewind that.
Just put Pedo Bear right there.
Sorry.
So yes, I've been a
Alright, well,
fan
welcome.
since I saw it on Laserdisc, and I prefer that version to any of this like Blu-ray messed up stuff.
No!
You are the biggest Star Wars hipster I've ever
Purist.
encountered. I only like Star Wars on Laserdisc.
I do.
That's right.
I agree with her, though. I totally
tagline.
agree with her.
Yes, and I will be playing on the Empire side. Go Empire!
All right.
Okay, welcome. And then Gary just came in. Evidently, he doesn't have his audio going. Gary.
Oh, I'm from Washington D.C.
Oh, okay. So we got East Coast.
Oh yeah, New York.
Yeah.
Another East Coast. This is California here. West Coast. Bad. It's that stuff.
No one
Yo,
from
yo.
Detroit or Milwaukee?
Okay. All right. Well, and then Gary came in. He's just listening for now, but this is great. Great to have you guys here. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start talking about some news that's been going on in TOR this week. I'm going to throw out the topics, and you guys talk, because that's what makes this interesting. If I do all
my
the talking,
God.
it's not very interesting.
Ooh, talking.
But the thing is, this week's been kind of a slow yet also fast week for TOR because they've had the New York Comic Con or whatever. Excuse me if I don't know the name of everything. The first thing that I want to bring up is this dark side corruption thing. Have you guys seen in the news and the blogs
awesome.
about this?
Yeah.
So you
I-
can turn it on and off?
Yeah, it's a toggle.
Yeah.
I read that.
Yeah,
Come
so if you don't
on.
like, you don't have it on. But they had that in Knights of the Old, or not? No, Mass Effect had that.
They
You
had
can
that
pay
Mass
50
Effect,
credits
KOTOR
to
1,
get rid of it,
KOTOR
right?
2, Mass Effect
Yeah.
2. So yeah.
Well, somebody enlightened the Republic only noob here. I'm assuming this has to do with like when you watch the videos, the trailers, and you see Malik going from the first one, which is actually Return, to the last one, Deceived. You see his appearance getting very mangled, and I'm assuming it's because he's consumed by the dark side. Is this what we're talking about?
Well, yes and no.
Yeah,
He
yes and
was
no.
hit by a bomb in the face during the
Yeah.
Hope trailer, so that kind of helped it.
Rocks. Yeah.
That'll kind of screw you up, I
Yeah.
guess.
I think he got
Yeah.
shot in the face too, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, it was just a grenade, like
Just
a cryo grenade.
Oh, it was just a grenade. Well, he's a big baby.
Well, it's a grenade, and he gets thrown into
He
a wall,
should
too.
suck it up.
Ah,
Yeah. And not shaving doesn't help.
And not shaving.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
then as time goes on then, though, because you're consumed by the dark side, you start becoming ugly and deformed.
yeah, if
What
you
a
look at
selling
some of the
point,
dark
really
side
fun.
characters, you get sunken eyes, your eyes
Yeah.
become more red, you become more pale, some veiny. If you ever
I mean,
played
that's something
KOTOR
they-
1 or 2.
that's something they did in the movies. If you look at Anakin Skywalker, as he got more
Right.
evil, after he butchered all the younglings, he was all.
His eyes
And the
and everything.
Emperor
Yeah.
was just like the most mangled human being in the universe, right? So
Yeah.
that's just something they're trying to go for in the game. I think it looks
Yeah.
really interesting.
I just don't like. I mean, I understand why they did it. I just don't like the fact that it's a toggle. I think if you go that path,
Yeah, I don't like the toggle.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of
Toggle
people are
the cop out.
complaining that they don't want to look all
Yeah, I
deformed and
know, I
nasty.
know.
So just don't turn it off for your character.
I'm about
Yeah.
to make a comment that might get me in trouble, but probably a lot of girls don't want to look all different. But then I would have to put myself in that own position too. If I was playing an Imperial guy and I didn't want to look all, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it depends
By
on
the way,
how
I-
nasty you start to look.
Yeah. I think they're also doing the reverse too for the Jedi. I think if
No.
based on how good we
Oh,
are.
come on.
Did
No,
did
I
they
read
say
an
no, they
interview that
weren't?
they can't. I read an interview. They can't. They can't
Aw.
figure a way out to do
So
it
they
because
can't
The
What
light
happens?
siders more saintly. They could
no, there's no way to do it. They
You
can't
look
have.
at-
No.
Look at me.
Daniel Erickson said that they can't do it. They
Oh,
try different
baloney.
ways. They won't be able.
Was it
They
Daniel
can't do
I'm
it.
calling him right now. Where is it?
Hey, I keep prodding him on
What if they glitter?
stuff on there.
No,
Glitter.
no
Glitter.
Twilight.
That's great. Light side powers compel.
Light side.
I don't want any Twilight vampire Jedi up in this.
No vampire Jedis. All right.
But I think
No,
that
that's
the one
definitely
thing
going to
that was
happen.
wrong-
In a bunch of RP guilds, there's going to be vampire Jedi.
Oh.
What are you?
I
I'm a
think that's
vampire
the one
Jedi.
thing wrong though was that because it can be turned off, you don't have this kind of all right. This is how my character has been going. This is my character. I didn't do an autosave. This is
Yeah,
how-
right.
So this is how it is.
Now
But the
all of a
fact
sudden
that
I
you
look
just
fresh
turn
and
it
clean.
off, but now that you can just toggle it off, there's no.
So, are we saying this is visual only? Is there, like, do you get any extra spells or abilities with the corruption?
I haven't heard anything about anything that affects game mechanics.
gear.
It's just
I heard a
appearance.
little bit about game mechanic affecting, but it's
Yeah.
not going to be so much to the point where it affects what path you choose for rating. It's going to be
Johnny,
a little bit
give
effect,
me
but
more
not
deeds.
so great.
I gotta squeeze something out of you guys.
No
It's-
more
it's-
deeds, Johnny.
It's gear. I believe it also impacts which kind of social, or what is it, RP type gear that you can pick up.
Social
Okay.
points?
Not social
Yeah.
points. Based on where you are, light or dark, and this isn't even beta related. It determines
The style
what you
of your.
can use. Style, yeah, the gear style and certain gear that you can
Okay.
actually use is based upon your alignment.
Ooh, so I can get glitter gear?
What is with you and glitter?
Well, the
Gear,
conversation,
glitter.
the page that has, it's got two GM responses in it about this whole subject. It's up to 99 pages, so there's a lot of discussion going on about the dark side appearance deal. So if you haven't checked that out, if you dare go to the official forums, go ahead and do that.
I like it.
Oh, man, I
Get the
stopped.
flame suit.
I've spent so much time on like the WoW forums and back in the day the Adron's Call forums on IGN.com. These forums seem so tame to me. I think it's nice and refreshing.
Well,
I've had people threaten to kill me on the WoW forums.
Yeah, they're doing a lot better, and I think Georg or Steven actually mentioned this. Things have calmed down a lot since they announced the release date, but it was getting pretty high-pitched and fevered up until that point, so it seems to have settled itself down. So anyway, that's the dark side corruption topic. The next one that came up, and this is information that was misconstrued actually from a beta video, is racials.
Oh,
All of a
okay.
sudden, I was streaming.
Ah.
I don't know if you guys do this. I have a search set up in Google Plus set up to pull
The
in all
alerts.
KOTOR stuff. And all of a sudden I saw some blog post all of these. It's confirmed we have the official, racials for the Republic side. And I go to this site and they've got lists. I'm like, what the heck are these people smoking? Well, evidently that caught the attention of the devs. And Georg posted up on it, and what he said basically is that there are racials coming into the game, but they're not necessarily here yet, and they will not be a factor in combat or stats.
Mhm.
They will be predominantly for
Social.
appearance or
Social
social
things,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that too.
I think
So
that's
run with
great.
that.
It's
So-
unique. I mean, it's not going to affect. Oh, I need to play this class, do this because I want to min max because I want to be the best at everything. It's a
Well, I
case
think-
of
They
Yeah.
definitely should have a Twi'lek head punch. Just beat your head around and whack.
Well, I was thinking this will keep us from having 1,000,001 dwarf priests.
Yes, I was just about to bring that up.
WoW, old vanilla WoW days.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm glad that they don't have that because I don't want to see 1,000,001 Sith pureblood Inquisitors. No,
You
I
guys
want to
played
be able to
Alliance?
play my human and go be the best healer I can be.
yeah.
And already
First off,
on
how are
that,
you
you're
guys
going to
playing
have
Alliance? Wow.
you're going to have 1,000,000 different humans. You're going to have 1,000,000 humans. They're going to be the new Night Elf of the the Republic side compared to the Night Elf on the Alliance side and WoW. And then you're going to have, I think it's going to be a combination or a tie between either the Sith race on the Sith side or the what was the other one? The one that my brain just farted.
Zabrak?
Yeah, Zabrak. Yeah, everybody wants
The
to have
Darth
Horn look
Mauls.
like Darth Maul. Exactly.
Yeah.
All the
I think,
kids, they're going to name themselves Darth something and look like
Yeah.
Darth Maul.
The Republic has that race too, though, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think-
do.
They have
Okay.
the light-skinned Zabrak. We got the black Zabrak and the white Zabrak.
Ooh, that's racially charged.
It's the truth.
But so the racials will be coming in. There's a link in the dev tracker where he goes on about that and says no, and I like that.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what social things it has, but I know I'm rolling on a fantasy MMO and I'm going to be rolling a human. I'm lame, I know, but it's pretty much.
I'm going to be
I
rolling a
guess so.
human too.
But I don't want to have to pick a certain race because it's got better racials.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the one big advantage is that you're not going to be constantly trying to rebalance because of the
Right.
Well, yeah, not because of the racials, just because of everything else.
I remember
Like
when
with
WoW
race-
balanced out the racials, they mean nothing anymore. Those racials are just like
Right.
out the window. Except for
Well,
human.
if you
Human have
were
the
a
best
rogue in
racial.
WoW, and you weren't a human rogue because they had that racial that lets you see other rogues easier. I mean, that was the big thing right there. Everybody said this is
Yeah.
the least fair thing in the world. Then remember when the internet exploded and the world ended because of that? It was very terrible. It took Blizzard months to put everything back together. So racials that are just cosmetic is nice to me.
Yeah.
And plus, and
speaking-
even go ahead.
So I was just wondering, in one of the videos that they released, they showed a Twi'lek opening Kem Vol's like lock. Did anybody else notice that in one of the recent videos? I think it was in the Companion Part 1 release from like a couple weeks ago.
No, I don't remember seeing that.
Go back, look at the Companion video. There's a Twi'lek Sith Inquisitor opening Kem Vol, like unlocking him.
Well, the Sith Inquisitor, and they've said it before. The Sith that class covers a multitude of races because of its story.
Yeah, but officially what's been released is that it's going to be like a Zabrak and human. They never really said anything about any other races. I know it's in the beta, but I'm trying not to like break NDA.
I thought they said that it could be. I thought it was a multitude because it's the slave race or slave class or something like that. Slave
Yeah, but
story.
they never officially said Twi'lek. I just thought it was interesting that it was in that video, and nobody else noticed but me.
We'll have to wait till everybody's in beta or it goes open.
Anybody think they're going to release the NDA before the game launches?
Please. Oh my goodness.
They
Please.
will. I think it will be the next build, not this build.
They will probably have to because as we can see this week, I've seen more and more breaking of NDA, and it's just going to
Yeah.
get worse. And so
Yeah.
I
And
think at
that's to
some
be
point,
expected. People are jerks.
I just go ahead, Gary.
They'll drop NDA the week of Thanksgiving, and Black Friday will hit, and everybody will go pre-order.
By the way, never mind. You probably got it on the topic, the pre-order count.
Actually, I didn't this time, so bring that up.
What are the counts?
I think it's 630,000 people have pre-ordered.
Aren't they
Yeah.
still at rank number 5 though on the charts? They've been like that for the past
Still at
couple
5.
weeks.
Yep.
But that's really solid, especially
That's-
for an MMO and a PC-only
Yeah.
game.
I'm curious.
200,000 more than it was when it
Anyone
started.
here order more than one copy? Anyone order more than one copy?
I've got two.
Oh, 2? Whoa, that's cool. Why?
Multi-boxing.
Oh, okay.
If it's doable. If not, then I got a friend who will buy it off me.
I'm only getting one collector's edition.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not doing CEs. Just standard digital downloads.
Yeah. Okay. That added
Cool.
something to our notes, too, that I wanted to do here. If
I
I'm not
multi-boxed
rocking-
4 characters in WoW for like 3 years.
Did you
I've got to the
multi-box
point where I
Shaman?
can't. No, I didn't because they're so big and mainstream. I didn't want anything to do with it. I did warlocks, death knights, mages, paladins, and hunters, and then a couple of mixed groups of all of them. I honestly did it for RP purposes. Role playing 4 characters at once is a lot of fun
Oh my god.
because I'm the biggest weirdo in the world.
Wow.
And then when you get, you guys are familiar with mages and WoW. They've got that mirror image spell where they duplicate
man.
themselves.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I was 4 pink gnomes with like
Is
the
that
big pink
from,
hair, the big
Cataclysm?
pink mustaches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So then
That's
there
why I
was
don't
20
know
of
about
me.
it.
It was good times. There's a
Awesome.
picture
Wow.
somewhere.
Well, another
Did you
thing
guys-
that hit
yeah.
the dev tracker this today, actually, as we're getting ready to come to a dark spot tomorrow. If you didn't know, the servers, or not the servers, but the whole social aspect, their website, forums, everything will be gone offline for possibly 24 hours tomorrow. A lot of people are speculating what's coming back up, but
Well, they did that last week for 12 hours and it was only down for like 8.
yep. Tank confusion. Stephen Reed stepped into something, evidently ticked off a bunch of people planning to play main tanks as the assassin. Is assassin? Well, Shadow, and what's the counter? Okay, assassin.
It's Assassin.
In a radio interview, he evidently said something that they make really good off tanks and basically dissed them as main tanks, and Georg or George or however you want to say his name. We got to get him into the Hangout so he can pronounce his name for us.
I heard it's like Georg.
All tank specs in the game are designed to function as a main tank. There are no off tanks by design in the game. That would involve players intentionally choosing such a role by speccing hybrids. So that's the official word, which is really cool from Georg about the fact that if you're a tank, if you have tank in your build, you are a main tank. If you have a healer in your build, and I'm extrapolating here, but I think I've heard him say this too, you are a healer. So I think that's fantastic. We don't want to go into more WoW war stories, but I played a paladin early on in WoW, and talk about trying to be able to prove that you can main tank over a warrior back then was like
warrior tank.
So anyway, that's awesome. I love the fact that if you've got tank in your spec tree,
how did the paladin tank with cloth?
I know a lot of people giving paladins bad names back then, and still.
I liked my paladins.
But what do you guys think about that? How many of you plan on playing tanks?
Trooper tank, actually.
Oh,
then the debate comes up. You can't tank as a trooper. What are you talking about? Get in there, let him hit you in the face.
To tank. I feel that if I do a bad job tanking and somebody calls me on it, I'm just going to lose it and then rage everywhere. So at least I realize
coming from the guy who multi-boxes, he says he's not going to.
Now, I can play one account just fine. I just like to role-play my 4 accounts.
So wait, since you're going to multi-box, which class are you multi-boxing? Do you know?
I don't know yet. I will not know until about a month
Come to the dark side.
I want to play Sith. I started a poll on the main forums because I'm concerned. I want to do PvP, like I want RP PvP as my server. And I was originally going to do Sith, but I'm looking at the numbers because this poll is what fact do you want to play and what server type do you want. And it looks like the Sith's going to outnumber Republic by a lot based on what I'm seeing from this poll. I want to be the underdog. You know what I mean? I don't like being the more populated side. I would prefer to play Sith based on just the whole Sith side. But if it comes down to numbers, I'll go Republic.
I think on the main forums, the highest class is Sith Inquisitor, and the lowest is probably the Smuggler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stupid NDA. Oh.
I know.
That's on the main forums, though.
If you're gonna multi-box, you're gonna have to do Trooper.
It would be pretty cool.
You have a whole army.
I'd like to play 2 different. That's true. I'd like to do 2 different classes if I multi-box this game. Like I'd like to do. I don't even know, like Smuggler, Trooper, or Inquisitor, Bounty Hunter, or something like that, and see how that works out. It might fail horribly, and it's not even confirmed that they'll allow multi-boxing or that it'll work. You need to be able to follow. You need to be able to do a bunch of other stuff well. And if that doesn't work, then it's it's an SOL.
Well, multi-boxing is going to be even more difficult when you've got you got 4 characters and you got 4 companions.
Oh yeah.
But NDA.
Well, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, the tank confusion. I love the fact that Georg straightened that up. I plan on playing a tank. I'm going to be a main tank or an off tank, and that's just good news. Although, never mind. I was going to say something I can't.
What class?
I'm going to be Knight, Jedi Knight.
Yep, I'm playing a Sith Warrior and Sith Inquisitor.
I will lightning you.
Oh, that's what that was.
I'll beat you in the face. All right, another interesting move this week is, and I didn't know there was a big uproar about this, but then I don't live in Europe. They moved the release date for Europe to the same as ours, so it's a global release date of December 20th.
That's cool.
Was it before or after ours? I'm not clear on that.
It was after.
It was 2 days after.
Second, yeah.
So that's cool. But it's not for, it's just Europe, right? In Australia, they're still getting it. And New Zealand, because they
Australia,
have all those laws.
I don't think they've given release dates for Australia.
Yeah. Gaming in Australia is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Yeah.
I'll have to go check because everything I keep hearing is global release date. So I don't know if that's for everybody or...
It's global release date, but I don't think they're selling anything in Australia. If they can get it, then good for them. If not, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Well,
they play on U.S. servers right now.
That's right. And I can't mention that too. Darn it.
I think I just read they only have. I think they only have West Coast, East Coast, and Europe servers. They don't have any Central.
Right. But I thought they just did a post where they invited Australia to participate in the beta.
I think
They did to see the ping, I guess.
Was that in the open, by the way?
It was open. That's the dev tracker. That
was the dev tracker.
And about where the server was?
The servers, that was in an interview. I need to pull it up. I know I just saw it.
Okay. I just can't remember if that was in the open or not, because I know that in the beta forums. Okay. Then California, which is fantastic. I love that idea because I've always been relegated to playing on East Coast servers, and for some reason BioWare seems to have it under control compared to WoW. If I play on an East Coast WoW server, I have a ping of 200 to 300 no matter what, because it's just crappy data centers and whatnot.
Yeah, some of the data centers for the West Coast aren't in the West Coast. Or they're like,
they're really, really bad. Oh, yeah, when you start talking about time zones and all that on WoW servers, farms, people don't understand. It's like, dude, go to WoWWiki, check out how this is all arranged. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, they have a global release date of the 20th for everybody, which should be interesting, although the early start, we still have no news on that, and we're still trying to figure out, all right, when do we get in, depending on the lottery and when we entered our keys. So
I entered mine on the second day.
Nice.
You'll be in before me.
I'm out of town for like a week or two around Christmas, so I'm not playing until I get back in January. Hopefully, you guys can sort all that lag out for me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting to see. Let me post a link here. There was an interesting Facebook thread. I know Facebook. I'm talking about Facebook. We're on Google.
Oh my God.
I haven't been to Facebook in forever, but if you look at that link right there on the official site, they actually mentioned something. What content are you looking forward to the most in Star Wars: The Old Republic? They asked about PvE, PvP, or a mix of both, and it's a surprising breakdown on how this goes. 9,472 people voted for a mix, 7,455 for PvE, and only 1,667 for PvP. So that shows a really nice breakdown on what's really wanted, which brings up, I guess I have a bone to pick with most of the heat.
Well,
that you
no,
see
it shows.
Huh?
Go ahead, Gary.
It shows that everybody that's on Facebook is PvE.
Well,
what's going on?
Yeah, but there's a lot of people on Facebook. So, but what I've always been discouraged about with most companies, and actually forum communities, like Rift was the same way, is you get a lot of PvPers in there, and if you're PvP, that's great. I love PvP. I just don't want to play on a PvP server. But they are so loud and so heat oriented that they seem to think that the whole world revolves around them. Where you get a poll like this, and this is on their official site, so they've got thousands, hundreds of thousands of likes and people following them on Facebook. That's pretty good. Look there. What do you guys think?
PvPers with first shooters. The community, that's why I started playing RP PvP. It was PvP without a lot of the childishness. Like, people are more relaxed about it. But those numbers are solid. I like that.
Yeah. It shows PvP is still important. People are thinking about it, but there's not a glut or a large amount of people that are PvP only minded and trying to beat everybody else, calling us Care Bears and things like that. It's like, dude, there's room for us all, so enjoy the game and let us have what it is. It was cool that they introduced the RP PvP servers. Our guild's still staying with a straight RP PvE, and we'll do PvP in the war fronts and then world PvP and stuff like that, which will be cool. Which is awesome. The Friday update talked about, first of all, they opened up a new operations page on the HoloNet. I don't know if anybody's taken a look at that.
It's about time.
It's very meh.
Yeah, it's about the same information we already know, but then we all said
it's just Eternity Bolt.
I want to see about the hut one that they spoke about.
Exactly. Yeah, there's some information that is still needed to come out. That's really good for the PvE folks, is because they really want to know. A lot of raiders and whatnot want to know about the operations. Yeah. How many of you guys plan to do operations and raiding? Are we going to be called raiders anymore or operators?
Operators sound so badass. Oh, Ops is good.
Black Ops.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on the other side. So.
Sith,
That's only Sith side.
Ops.
Yeah. But it'll be really cool. And then they released another cool trailer.
Yeah.
With my
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Atil Shan and Ilum. Was that some awesome footage of what could be happening in Ilum?
It's nice to see a trailer that's not rendered. You know, that they're using the actual...
Yep.
To make a cinematic experience out of it. I thought that was a nice touch. Because a lot of people were saying, oh, the graphics might not be all that good, and I think this trailer really helped a lot of that.
Well, a lot of the class ones are all in-game rendered, too.
Yeah, but I found this one had that flair. You know what I mean? It was like, ooh, this is a movie, but it's also the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I can't wait for the
is-
cinemas to get a hold of the game.
Oh God. What I wonder is who is that Imperial agent guy? The I think it was Chiss. No, he's not Chiss. Whatever. The blue guy next to
I had the
Malgus.
same question because they focused on Satil and then they focused and Dave's gonna kill me. The trooper guy that we've seen, I don't remember his name. So we know that he's a prominent guy. And then they showed Malgus and they showed him. I'm like, I wonder if this guy
Showed Malgus, showed this random Imperial agent, and then they showed the trooper female from the original trailer video.
You sure it wasn't Smithy Smurf?
Oh God. Oh.
May the Smurf be with you?
No.
So he could be somebody important for the storyline too, but I don't know, and don't plan on finding out. So you'll all have to tell me later.
Be Watcher Smurf.
Oh God. You silly Republic.
Okay, and so then we've got. That's pretty much. Anybody else have any news that they remember hearing throughout the week?
Well, you want to talk a little bit about the mods because there was that big uproar and the devs came out and said that was just a beta build.
Sure. Go for it. What about it?
I don't know about this.
So they were complaining about that all the gear was stripped out so it wasn't moddable, right? So everyone started crying until finally BioWare came out and said that they have multiple servers running different versions of code and that they were testing something that tested negatively. So that's not necessarily something that's going into the actual release. It's that they were trying something out with not having highly moddable gear.
In the link that I'm sending out, it's an interview. If you read the last bit about it, Daniel Erickson actually talks about how you can mod certain cosmetic gear, and he specifically says Leia's slave outfit. You can mod that, raid with it, and it will get you social points.
I remember that.
Used to gain more cosmetic gear. Or like
because everybody wants their main tank to be wearing Leia's slave outfit. Because that's awesome.
Yes.
Actually,
I can remember some armor in WoW that.
But I feel very good because now I feel like I personally don't have to worry about this issue. I think that they're going to do the right thing, and the gear will have a sufficient amount of mods as you go up for operations. So I'm good on this.
And this is where I remind everybody about the community aspect that we have as ambassadors for the community, blah, blah, blah. The fact is all these leaks and all this misinformation goes out there, and everybody cries that the world's coming to an end, and they're all crying about stuff that is still in beta. It's still being tested. It's not guaranteed to be there the next build. So, it's like that is where the forums start really looking like a WoW forum to me.
Yeah, I refuse to go to the main forums a lot.
But we don't know what's going to happen with that. They've had some verification and whatnot. And there's going to be mods in the game. There has to be because there's a whole crafting profession that's centered around modding and make that kind of useless if they didn't have it. But so anything else? Any other news that you guys remembered? For some reason, there's stuff in the back of my head, but I had a dentist appointment today. The whole right side of my face was.
Did you guys talk about the other CGI, the Jedi versus Bounty Hunter?
Oh, the choose your
yeah,
class.
right.
Or...
Jedi Knight, of course. Come on.
Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter.
Death Star.
Ha.
Yeah, the footage they showed from that's got me very excited for that. New
Wait,
Warframe.
What?
Void Star?
Oh,
you said
Void
Death
Star.
I went to Void
I
Star.
said Death Star.
See,
Yeah.
my brain's
Oh, they showed
not
footage from
connected.
the Void Star?
I was like,
Right
what?
there.
They're doing the Death Star? What?
There's a couple of clips.
It's a
Void
class. It's not a tank. It's and heals for some reason.
Somebody's pumpkin
off
had
tank.
me confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, off tank. Yeah, but yeah, the Void Star, another warfront that will be during the launch. They said there's 3 warfronts, right?
Yes.
Hut Ball.
NDA.
No, actually, this was in the open.
They've already announced 3.
Hut Ball
Oh yeah, Hutball,
Alderaan.
Void Star, and Alderaan.
and Void Star. And
Alderaan.
Void Star looks really cool. And who knows a lot about it that can kind of explain what kind of warfront it is?
I can't talk about it.
Well, no, we're-
I don't know what's been released and what hasn't been, and I played through it, so it's
Yeah.
really a piss off. NDA.
I think it's a Conqueror and
It's a star
Red.
and it's voided.
I thought it was the ship.
It's a ship.
It's a ship.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
So those are the 3. They also mentioned the other news that is starting to come to me is they mentioned that there are going to be flashpoints available for
15.
pretty much every level bracket of the game as you go up, and the fact that once you hit max level, they will all open up as heroic, and you'll be able to go back to them.
Great.
That's cool.
And I think Daniel also said something about, I know this is really good think, I have to go look these up, but that there's different styles, that there are some that are going to be like the one that we've seen in videos being S-less, which is a very story-driven one, and there's going to be some that won't be as story-driven, which will make some people happy. We've talked about this before, being able to coordinate with your group, guild group or whatnot when you do these for the 3rd or 4th time farming them. You know what to do. You space bar through everything, make the decision, and go. But so there's going to be a variation. I think that's going to be really cool because being PvE oriented and wanting to do end game content, I'm looking forward to seeing these flashpoints with the stories because it's totally different than anything we've done in WoW. Are you guys looking forward to story driven instances?
Yes, because people always complain to me, what are you still doing looking at the quest? I'm reading it.
Yeah, now they'll complain about, well, why are you taking so long? You just won through everything.
I care about lore. I didn't do any of the instances stuff while I was in the beta, so I can happily talk about it. I think what they've said they want to do with it is a really neat concept, and I think the social aspects of it, from what I've heard, is going to play out really nicely for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all the news I can remember.
Yeah, there wasn't
But
that much this week.
No, it was a little more because of the event that they were at, but a lot of rehash.
Did anybody
of
go to
stuff.
that, by the way? Or anybody know anyone who went to your Comic-Con?
Not.
It's almost like
No.
once the release date was out there, people just, you just forget about it. See you in December.
They reinstalled Lotro and started playing that again, right? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know anybody like that.
We got to kill some time until the 20th or before.
Oh my god, I know. I'm like starving here for information about SWTOR.
I installed Coder again.
Okay,
Good game.
some other things
Good
some
game.
talking points, and one of them, the beards. Stephen Reed is growing a launch beard, and several of the BioWare folks are growing launch beards. I've actually, I see Lewis there. We have a couple of really good beards in the audience today, and I'm actually thinking about going full bore on mine too. But you guys think about the launch
Wait.
beard concept?
I think everything's better with a beard competition.
There you go.
I mean, really. The only thing about the beard is Movember. Have you guys ever participated in Movember? Ever hear of that? It's you grow a mustache for prostate cancer, and I did it last year, except that I look ridiculous with a mustache, so I've opted to go with the giant beard instead.
There you go.
Because really, redheads with mustaches look funny.
Now, how about
I got my
Gil's-
beard.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about talking points? Let's talk about guilds. What kind of guilds are you guys looking for? What are some things that you think would encourage guilds? Because right now we're at this is a hard spot. We've got how many days? Who's looked at the timer lately?
64.
All right, we've got 64 days until launch. And a lot of us, how many of you are in a guild already established and ready to play?
I'm in 2.
All right, you're in 2.
I'm in one Republic.
Okay.
But I'm looking for a Sith Pacific time zone.
Okay.
What time zone?
Pacific. And it has to be,
Pacific.
I want a PvP.
Yeah, PvP.
Well, here's the deal. We've got all this time before launch, and many of us are already getting set up and established in guilds, and we don't have a game to play. So this causes some issues. Well, yeah, a lot of folks are trying to put together games and community. That's the community building thing. I've already, I'll go ahead and say this. We actually lost a member this week, and mainly because it may not have been a good fit for this person, which is always good that we have this time for folks to figure out, because not everybody's going to mesh with every other type of guild personalities and whatnot. But we've got this time, and I had made a response in a post that we've got this time going. Right now we've got 54 people registered on our official headquarters site. Do I expect 54 people to be playing on the 20th? Probably not. Will we grow beyond that once launch happens? All of us will. All of our guilds are going to be in game, and people are going to be looking for guilds. So yeah, that's going to happen too. But what do we do between now and the 20th to get people to engage, to build that community, which is what guilds are about? Do you guys have any ideas or any tips? What are some cool things you're doing, or are you just as lost and in the weeds as everybody else?
You mean other than Google Plus Hangouts?
That's right, Google Plus Hangouts.
Hey, Mike, I took a page out of your book, and I went ahead and I set up a guild website on an engine. So we now have 6 members there, and because of the forums and the other activities that we're putting in place on the website, people are starting to connect and share photos and come together, talk about doing things outside of the guild. So I think that's something that is starting to happen now before that actual launch.
That's awesome.
My guild. My guild actually has been making recruitment videos from all the, not from beta, but from just the videos that they've released. So that they try and do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other big thing that will make a difference is once NDA drops, everybody will want to talk about it.
Yeah, that's a problem, because not everybody in our guild's in beta, and so it becomes them and the others.
Yeah.
One of my guilds is okay with breaking NDA, so.
Don't mention it.
Yeah, I'm not saying the name of the guild.
Do you think it's important though to market to adults?
Yeah.
I'm so up to here. I do not want a guild with teenagers. I just don't. I don't want to hear the word rape once. I don't want to hear the word teabag once. I'm done with that.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, I want people that know the lore. If I go in there and people are like, "Where's Boba Fett? Where's Jabba the Hutt?" I'm gonna get really ticked off.
Well, there's probably gonna be about 50 guys wandering around whose name is Boba Fett and whose name is.
They're gonna piss me off too. Like, I already know.
There's gonna be so many of those with like reference names.
Yes.
Well, you said you're PvP.
I don't want to be
you
on a server.
RP PvP or just PvP?
Ham solo.
Ham Solo.
Ham solo. He's out there.
HAM.
HAM is out there. He's waiting for you guys.
It's
not me.
Go ahead and ask again, Eric. You were asking her if she.
Oh, yeah. Are you PvP or RP PvP?
Well, for the Republic, we're doing RP, PvP, but my Sith too, I want the same.
Yeah, I would just always stick with the RP in front of it, even if you don't want to RP.
I know. There's less assets.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, I was an officer at a guild that had like 300 members in WoW, and it was entirely a social guild in our PvP server. But we just, the only rule was don't be a dick, and we were extremely well respected throughout the entire server. And it really just came down to a bunch of people that didn't want that mindset. I think it's tough now because we're not able to communicate in game, I think you're going to start seeing these bigger guilds forming around the mindset of not being dicks to one another. And you just got to look around until you see one of those, right? But they're so common on PvP servers. Or like the opposite of that is so common on PvP servers. People are just dicks.
Well, exactly, and that's the whole point I keep bringing up in all of our hangouts is that we have an obligation to be ambassadors to the community. If we want this to be a good community game,
I think this comes back to guild managers, guild leaders. So if you have someone that's an actual dick, are you going to let them go? Say, hey, you just don't belong here. So I think it's part of us building the community that's a conduit to having the right players on board, and I think that's critical.
Exactly. And the same thing goes with once we're in the forums and all that. WoW is successful because Blizzard has done a good job of producing a game that's really got great mechanics and everything. Nobody can deny that except for the 12-year-olds who want to say that WoW sucks or those who say that nothing's better than WoW. You got these two polar extremes. But the fact of the matter is what makes WoW so perfect and has lasted so long is the community, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. They have a very established, very entrenched community. You've got fan sites galore. You've got resource sites galore that are professional and fantastically done. We need to have that happen over in TOR so that we then have...
Well, the NDA is stopping us from building all the tools and everything that we need. We need the databases. We need all these things, and we're held back.
Well, but what about Darth Vader? Anyone been to that fan site? I mean, it's the biggest fan site currently.
Face palming.
Yeah, and Darth Vader has a database of all the flashpoints and the loot gear and the loot tables.
Well, and it's more than NDA on that. Same thing happened with Rift. What happens with the games when they're releasing is the companies don't have all the tool sets out. The game's still in beta. We're still on a pre-build before release build. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to change. So if they were to release the XML database dumps to the fan sites, the good ones that make the databases and things like ZAM or Curse, can't believe I said that out loud. If we do that, they have to then change it because things are going to change between now and live. But that will come, and then those folks will be able to get that together. So it will come.
Yeah, but Mike, we're running out of time.
We've got
building a database for how many flashpoints, how many operations. I mean, all of this stuff takes development time. So they need to lift the NDA.
Sure, I can guarantee you that folks like ZAM and Curse both, and then maybe a couple others, already have their code base in place and have things set up. Again, I'm going to refer back to Rift because it's the earliest launch game that was a big MMO that we've all seen. This was the same way. They had everything in place. All they had to do was propagate their databases, and then they went live with a very polished, very professional site like we expect to see, like Wowhead and whatnot. I can't wait for a SWTOR head or something like that. But it'll
Sweaterhead.
Yeah,
I think really quick, the reason that they can't do it, and this is for Johnny, the reason that they can't do it is because I just don't think that they know. I even know it's scary right now. What are we in October? I don't even know. We're in October right now.
That's all I'm saying is we're running out of time. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with
I
you,
think
but they're just not ready.
I think some of these sites, though, since a lot of them are probably in beta, they're building up these databases. They just can't show them yet because it's NDA breaking.
Right. And also,
a lot of
stuff right now that's in the game could be out of the game, and stuff that isn't even in the game yet could be in the next week, and we just don't know.
Oh, if these sites are any kind of smart, they're developing tools that will reverse engineer the package files.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
and we're talking about the professional. We're talking about the professional sites. We're not talking about the 15-year-old that puts up a blog and wants to call it, SWTOR Tank Head or something like that.
Yeah.
We're talking about the guys that have been doing this for some time.
If they were smart, they'd have their data mining tools set, and they probably are running them on every beta build.
Yeah.
So as soon as it drops, they're going to data mine it, drop it into the database, and then launch it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be there. Back to the guilds and then the community part, not wanting to have all the kids and stuff. It comes back to we have to, and it's a different mindset. There's some folks that are out there blanket bombing for members.
Right.
And I'm gonna get
That's
myself
always
in
that's
so
not
much
because
trouble.
we're pre-launch. That always happens.
I know.
You just
And
get
if you
people that
watch
don't care.
Twitter, oh my word!
Oh, yeah.
The
But y'all know
hashtag.
who I'm talking about.
Resurgence.
Let's buy you the game time, and come on. And the problem is with guilds like that is you get so many people flooding in that you don't even know who they are, and then you got this huge number at start. Yeah, you may be giant, but those are usually the guilds that when you roll onto a server with, you're like, oh man, they get a reputation from minute one because you can't control who's in there because you got the well-intentioned player to the jerk face.
It's really easy. You just have a guild out process that says who shot first.
That'll be a guild
we'll make
name.
T-shirts and who shot first. So those are some things we can do for guilds, but I'm done with it. And when we talk about ages, the Star Wars age, I put that as a talking point also. The reason you felt so young and why you think you're the youngest one here is because we had mentioned this like 3 or 4 shows ago. I was 8 years old when the original Star Wars came out. I remember sitting in the theater and watching the original Star Wars, and you're going to get a bunch of guys my age, 30s up to 43, that are going to be playing this game simply because it's Star Wars, and they have such a memory of all that. And so, I think we're going to see more older folks.
I hope
play.
it's going to be a mature group that.
Because Star Trek Online, did anybody here play that? I'm a bigger Trekkie than I am a Star Wars fan. Star Trek Online was the biggest disappointment I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure I vomited my brain out at one point.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty bad.
I was so looking forward.
Conan was a bigger disappointment.
And here's the deal.
The next one for me was DC Universe Online. Big comic book geek, same thing, exactly. And I'm actually leery about TOR just because of my big expectations for those games and how poorly they did.
That's why for the longest time I didn't even have TOR on my horizon because of what happened with Star Trek. Because I'm a huge Trekkie also, and I was so disappointed. And I thought, this is crap. They took this IP and ran it into the ground. They could have done so much with it. So I was thinking, all right, the Star Wars that they're talking about, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to screw it up. Everybody knows who's been in the Hangouts with me before. I did not have a big experience with BioWare up to this point. I did not play Dragon Age or Mass Effect or any of those games, or even KOTOR. I didn't play any of those games as a gamer until later. And so I'm like, I don't know much about them. They're probably going to screw it up, and knowing what Lucas does to things. So I was really not thinking about it until I got my beta invite, got into it, said, wow, they did not only hit this out of the park, it just absolutely rocks, and the story is just awesome. So I'm hooked.
I just hope there's not going to be a whole bunch of children who follow the Clone Wars show, because that thing, oh my god, what they've been doing to the characters. Oh. They brought back Darth Maul. They did all this crazy stuff. I'm like, Darth Maul died. Leave him alone.
Oh, wow. Really? Oh.
Yeah, they brought him back.
I had a discussion one day. Somebody on hashtag SWTOR on Twitter, his name is Darth Bane, and he was mentioning about bringing back stuff to the Old Republic, and I had to do a Wikipedia or a Star Wars Wikipedia thing on it. It said, dude, your timeline doesn't match up. It's like, oh, how I missed that. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of folks that make assumptions and are looking for Vader, and are going to name their show.
Eric's camera's frozen. That's like the perfect pose.
I look really suave. Can you hear me at all?
Awesome here.
I'm just like, yes, I'm listening to everything you say and considering the hell out of it.
It's the beard of power. And hey, Kyle and Eric, great to have you joining us. So that, guild involvement, we've got a lot of work to do and a lot of ground to cover until that time. So keep sharing on Google Plus and everywhere else about it. Who else has something to talk about?
Is anyone be keeping up with the comic series?
Just the free ones.
No?
I
just thought the last one sucked. I was just wondering if anyone else did.
I've been meaning to get into them, but I haven't yet.
I've only read the
son, who's an Imperial agent. He didn't cut the mustard to be a Jedi.
Yeah. I only read the first 2 issues of that one. I'm kind of on it. I read all of the ones that they had for free on the website.
I've not been doing comic books.
I want to read them on my iPad is the other thing. Do you know if they're for sale on any of the iPad apps?
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, if you get the Dark Horse app, you can buy them through that.
Yeah.
They're like
Oh yeah,
$2.
they're all through Dark Horse, aren't they? Okay, I definitely I'll get into that then.
Yeah,
I
they're
Stop
probably all,
giggling at my beard.
I just finished Fatal Alliance, the book, and so I've read this evening
Awesome.
Fatal Alliance, and I'm waiting for Revan. So waiting for Revan to come out.
I
Yeah.
can't read Revan. I just can't bring myself to do it because I played female and I was evil and I killed Cartho Nassi's son and Cartho Nassi still loved me. I can't. I can't read the book.
You did like everything opposite from War.
Drew Karpshin's writing it. It's going to be wicked.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be amazing, but it's not gonna be my Revan.
Oh my gosh, almighty.
But it's going to be awesome. I for one.
I had the
can't wait
Wookiee
for Revan.
tear off his friend's
Oh,
arms.
Matt. Or not Matt. What's her name? What was her name?
Mission.
what's-
Mission.
Mission
I
Bale.
had Zalbar tear off Mission's arms. I was like,
Oh
tear
my
off her
gosh,
arms.
you
And he was
just-
like, rock!
I couldn't do it. Like, no,
I
no,
did it.
We're good. We're good. Let's go kill him.
It was
You know who
awesome.
voices-
I
you know who
hated
voices
Mission. She was
also
so annoying.
voices somebody else in
Mission is
Thor, right?
cute.
Oh.
Not without any arms.
By the way, here's a question, and it's not NDA breaking or anything, but is the voice of Mission the same voice for Vet? Is that the same
Yep.
actor?
Yes.
It is.
Okay, that's what I thought. And she actually sounds much better because in KOTOR, I'm sorry, JJ, but I wanted to scream Mission's neck. But in this game, I'm like, wow, I'm sold.
She's kind of the same personality as Mission, too. Like, really feisty. And
Yeah,
Feisty
but it's
Twi'lek.
just
Hey, there you go.
when she was younger, it just sounds like she's grown a lot, so her voice is, I don't know, it's just much nicer.
yeah, Mission was a bother to me. I was like, Mission, go to the quarter.
Yeah, I've never used her.
Well, the books are great. I did them on audio, which are fantastic. Forgot the guy's name. Dang it! Anybody remember off the top of their head who narrates them?
I read the books.
Mike, yeah, I read them too, buddy. So
I know where I'm dissed. Well, my wife's
Yeah.
reading it, so
yeah,
She's
good for
reading
your
Deceit
wife.
right
You
now.
should have read them too, buddy.
I did.
I need to read the third Darth Bane
My
book.
ears.
Oh, so here's a question. Is it this week? Is BlizzCon this week?
it is Friday, Saturday.
So what are they going to do? What is their big thing that they do this week? Have they released a schedule? What are they going to do?
They've actually been super quiet about a lot of it from what I've been hearing.
They don't want you to know it's Thrall of the Old Republic.
I don't think they're ready.
I think they're preparing to release like some info on a new expansion pack.
Yeah, big deal.
They're releasing a new Night
I
Elf
know,
race
right?
that uses
No,
these magic-based
Mike,
light
I think it
swords.
is a big deal because whatever
no,
they
I know.
do, I mean, this is that chess game. This is their move. This is everybody's waiting for TOR. Everybody's pumped for TOR. So what does Blizzard do to say, forget that
Well, they're-
game?
They're
Yeah,
pumped up on
this-
Diablo right now, and it'll be interesting to see if they do release anything about Titan, which I doubt they will because they're still not ready to. But that would be the only card they would have to play.
They're gonna push it. They want. I mean, they are nice. They're gonna push it because I remember reading something on. I saw a video, an MSNBC video about people talking about just basic. What was it? Sales of SWTOR, and they got to take one out of three of the people who joined SWTOR is coming from World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft is going to try to take those people back with BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that
remember
article.
seeing that on MSNBC.
Or do they just
Oh.
let it go? Or do they just
Let
literally
me-
back
let
off
me
and say
pull
we're
it up.
done? We'll see you
The
in 6
guy who
months.
the guy who was talking in that article. Oh my word!
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like what he said, but
Yeah.
it was obvious they never really looked at the game. But I'm not an expert on those things either, though.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Sparkling Nelfs, yeah.
Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? We're getting up. We're at the hour mark here, and my wife will be passing me notes soon, saying dinner's ready.
Again.
Yeah.
And it's like 11 o'clock here.
I know,
Yeah,
every time
it's
we talk,
9:30.
We all have to talk like this.
What?
There we go.
Still got his beard.
Oh, I can't move.
Try muting your camera and turning it back on.
I was like mute. Yeah.
Well, it's
If I
awesome.
click on my image, it's actually my Google profile picture, and I'm glaring at all the little thumbnails. It's quite entertaining. I'm just like,
I think I got it. Do I got it?
I took a
Got it,
screenshot
right?
of that,
Is this it?
and
Is this
this
it? Do I
is,
got it?
this was streamed. I streamed this on Twitch TV, so hopefully we'll have a live, a recorded of that, so you could check it out later.
Oh God.
All right, well, guys, how did you enjoy? Those of you first time here, your first hangout about TOR.
It was fun.
it was good times. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I'm usually online during the day, so if you happen to see me and say, hey, let's start a hangout, I'm more than willing to get together and chat about stuff. But this, as a group, this is fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of folks were mentioning that time was off, and we could just do, kind of informal ones too. And you guys could start a hangout anytime also. I did mention
We're
that
bashful.
I'm going to be putting out, resharing the SWTOR circle I have, and if you know of anybody that needs to be added, then let me know, and then go ahead and propagate that out and help share that out. Some people have to be removed.
Mike, stop now, okay? Every day, 10 plus people. Every day, Mike. It ends tonight.
That popular day.
The line must be drawn here.
No, the line must be drawn here.
I linked the MSNBC video if anybody wants to look.
I saw it.
Yeah, you put it in the show notes.
Did you make show notes for us? Good. It's your job now, Carrie.
There's show notes?
I think we covered everything on my list. Well, I have a list, and it's on a little Google document standing here. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, there was this Q&A thing on that thing called Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Daniel Erickson had something to do with it, but I didn't pay attention. I kept poking Daniel and Georg. I said, guys, do this on G+. Do this on G+.
I have a question.
I know,
and
I
don't
want
really
Yes,
to.
Dave.
do it. So if you guys know, but have they said, and I can't remember, if you pick an advanced class, can you switch it if that's not the one that you want? Did
You
they say that
can
can
at
change it?
first. You can change it like once, and then later on, it's going to get near impossible to change it.
As far as I know, there is no changing advanced class
I
once you
heard
pick
no
it. You
to
can
that, yeah.
you can respec your trees, but you can't. You're stuck with the advanced class.
No.
I thought
There-
they had said that you could change it, but it would cost significantly more each time.
Yeah, there were interviews about it, like all over Darth Vader is where I'm getting
it
most
might
of
be
the
a plan
stuff.
for future, and it's not anywhere now. I can tell you that. Okay, but not yet. Thanks, Kyle. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people talking about that and we talked about this last week. The amount of time that is invested between level 1 and 10 is quite steep, and do you really want to have to re-roll like another consular or another knight or another, Sith? It's Lucy. Yes, I'm an altaholic. I'll do it.
Yep.
That's what space bars are for. I know the story. Let's get through it.
Actually,
No, they've said in interviews that you can change your advanced class immediately if it's like the wrong decision. It's just later on, after you've played it for a while, you won't be able to, just because it gets nigh impossible.
yeah. For me, that's what beta has been for, to figure out what advanced class you want to play.
Have
Some
you
of us
been
didn't
able to
get
decide? 'Cause I
into
can't. Sorry, JJ.
I baited to make and find bugs and report them and be
You
productive.
know, the one who actually
Oh, my
buys the
game
products doesn't get in.
Hey, I was registered from like the very first time they released the information about the game, and it took a long time to get in. And that's the other thing we talked about last week when people were saying, if you don't buy it, then you're going to get in. And I love Stephen Reed's response is, it's a random process.
They say it over and
Random
over
is
again, yeah.
random.
Yep.
And it is. That's why there's folks even in Darth Hader's group, Gary Gannon and Gamebreaker TV. A lot of these folks that have these really good sites, they're not in beta.
Well, I think
Blizzard
the
would have
one-
passed them a bone, but
Yeah. The lead guy from Darth Hader is, but I don't know about the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard about the people registering multiple accounts to get in.
I've been registered since 2009. Right when I quit WoW, I registered on the main site.
I have two accounts, an 09 and a 2011 account.
See, I registered my second account after my beta weekend because I was that impressed with it. But it was a complete fluke that I got in there. I haven't been around for that long.
Well,
So
we
sorry.
have 4
Please don't
accounts.
hate me.
we have 4 accounts registered, one for each of the people in our family, and I'm the only one who got an invite. So we're still hoping that we get guild invite, but I'm not sure if that's actually been rolling out much. I've not heard a lot about guilds getting their
I
beta.
haven't heard much about it either.
And I think the reason they
full-on
did just
beta
select
as
those.
well as the weekend betas. So there's an ongoing continuous beta, and
Yeah.
there are weekend betas, correct?
Right. They're
Absolutely correct.
now that they've started that back up again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. This was really fun, and glad
Yeah,
you
this
had
was
some
neat.
new faces, and keep just building up the community, being positive and proactive, and
And more beards.
making snarky remarks about giving away CEs.
I will go out and buy one just for this.
A
You all
CE
have
or
a
a beard?
really great night,
Thanks.
and
See you guys.
we will talk to you later.